What's up, guys? This is Weslee Weighs In.
I am Bailey.
And I'm Weslee. Threw her for a loop there, didn't
And this is Weslee Weighs In.
Let's go. Rehearse very well.
You don't really go first, so that threw me off.
I know. I'm out here doing different things.
I know. He's trying to keep me on my toes over here.
So, what's up? How was the weekend? What were you up to yesterday?
I competed yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to be able to because Maddox had state for gymnastics this weekend. But I got lucky. Her session was today. So I signed up kind of last minute for the Dallas Open, last tournament before Pans in a couple of weeks.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Get to compete before Pans.
I know, I'm sorry. Wesley was really upset because he had to work. And so I had a lot of people ask while we were there why I was there and why you weren't there. And
yeah, no, it sucked.
tell them you had to work.
Yeah, so how did that go?
It went good. I got gold in my division, which wasn't too bad. My first opponent was a no-show. So yeah, I won gold there. And I mean, I had another opponent after that. But so won gold there, and then I never know if I'm going to do the opens. I think people have different philosophies on that. Some know they're not going to do it. Some know they're going to do it regardless, and I just kind of like wait and see how I feel. So I decided to go ahead and do it, and I got silver in the open division. So yeah, it was a good day overall. Always things to work on. Definitely good things. Obviously won several matches. So overall, it was a good day.
Yeah. No, and I think that last match that you lost was very winnable. So it's not like you just were outskilled.
I was winning until the last 30 seconds. And I honestly, some of the points I question how they were given.
At the very end.
Yeah, at the very end. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. And it was the very last match of the open class. So, you know, after a full day of competing and being up there, I'm not going to lie, heading out to that last one, like I was ready for it to be the last match. I was just kind of done and over it. I will say that I always feel like doing the open personally, I feel way less pressure. I think because your division's already done, especially if you win in your division, then it's like, cool, this is just bonus. It's extra. If I do well, great. If not, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's not, it just doesn't feel as like I don't put as much pressure on myself for it. So the open is kind of fun. I can just go out there and have fun with it. I made new friends with one of the BJJ photographers. We're besties now. So I'm expecting to get some
boyfriend.
Really good shots of my fights.
You say so.
Yeah.
As far as the open class goes, I don't think there's a chance I'm really going to ever hit open class. I mean,
I feel like you should try
heck
it.
no. I mean, not if there's no dang 200-pound dude in there.
But you
I
never
got
know.
nothing to prove. I go with big guys 99.9% of the time in a non-competition setting, and that's when you get injured. So, and I don't know. I'm already prone enough to injury. I'm already have a jacked up shoulder.
That is true.
Which I just got results back finally on what officially went wrong with my shoulder or is wrong with my shoulder. So yeah, no. I mean, if I like looked and like there was minutes left to sign up and there was only like up to 168 pounders, like I'd probably do it. But
that's the
once
thing.
I start getting, I feel like I can be in control with the weight class difference up to like two weight classes. Once.
Yeah.
I mean, I can still with higher weight classes, but that's when it becomes dangerous. Where like it's not them cranking a submission that gets me injured; it's them their falling body weight on my, wrongly positioned wrist. Breaks a wrist or arm or something like that. So
yeah,
if I was 5 years younger, maybe, but I got.
It could happen in any match.
It's just every
my
division's
last
different.
match, I whacked my head. I hit my head on the mat hard. I had a headache the rest of the night. It was rough. But I didn't notice till I watched that part back to show Tracy where I had hit my head because she didn't see it or realize that it had happened. That I also fell really weird on my arm, but that's okay, at least for now. I was going to say, though, that you can always sign up and then watch it and then be like, you know what, never mind. And then just pull out and not do it if you're like, okay, there's some like giant people and I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do it.
No, I just never even really thought about, like, I've never even fought and then been like, People always ask me, I'm like, no, man. Like, for instance, at Austin, that dude was huge.
Which one?
There was a ginormous dude. You remember that giant black dude?
Oh,
super
yeah,
tall?
the one at the podium who was like...
Yeah, he was insane. Yeah, everyone was like, of course you win. You're so big. Yeah,
And-
he was massive.
Well, yeah, but then
You
he
mean-
was saying that he gets crap the other way around too, because people will be like, okay, you beat up on all these tiny people.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's
And
not
I'm
even
just- I'm
like...
gonna be- I'm
like
cannon
it's
fodder.
lose-lose for him because...
I'm his warm-up round to just sit on.
Yeah,
no,
he just
not
beats
happening.
everyone up, but then, if he beats everybody up, people are like not impressed because he's huge.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it actually really sucks for giant people in the sport.
No, I don't care about
Like
that.
when you're that big. No,
You're
no.
freaking that big. You got no...
I mean, I just feel bad for them because it's got to be really hard to find good. I'm not talking about giant people like the larger people at our gym who we would consider to be big. I'm talking about people like that guy or like Carlos Silva, who is a friend of our gym and comes by and trains and teaches. He's taught some classes at our gym before as like a guest. And he is just like so tall. So that I'm like...
I don't know why you feel sorry for him.
Because it's got to be impossible to find good rolling partners.
No, I mean, you were gifted with what God gave you to be able to use in rolling and training. I mean, there's not such thing as a good rolling partner when it comes to just like...
I mean, somebody like your same size
his
and
good
skill
rolling partner
level.
is his weight class. So and if it's open weight class,
Yeah.
then it's his training partner. So
That would...
if I was, like Elric, for instance, he's a big old guy.
I know.
Anybody that's up in that range is a good training partner.
See, like Elric is who I was thinking of. Like Elric and Travis are who I would not call... Like, I don't feel bad for them. They've got other big people.
Elric is pretty big.
Yeah. But Carlos Silva is on
There
another
are
level.
some rarities, but still. And
Well,
they
whatever.
have an advantage.
You don't have to feel bad for him, but I'm like, man, I'm sorry. Like, that sucks. I mean, I rolled with Carlos one time, and he threw me around like a dish rag. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, see, and that's why I don't think I've ever rolled with him before.
Yeah. He was very gentle, but it was like I'm being handled by a gentle giant who could he could just break me across his knee if he wanted to, but instead he just gently flung me around, around the mat.
Yeah, no, I haven't rolled with him. I've just been injured too many times, so
Yeah,
I
tell
have to-
tell everybody about your shoulder, because he did finally get an MRI, which why on earth it takes as long as it's taken.
So this
to get
injury
an
happened
injury
almost
MRI.
5 months ago. Probably right about 5 months ago now. I was cross training, doing some no-gi. It's like literally, as it always goes, my last roll of the day or whatever before I left. And it was like nobody's fault, really. I just scrambled for a takedown. He got to my hip and waist. May have had an arm trapped. I don't know. I don't really remember. I don't remember being able to post. But his weight came down on top of my shoulder, on top of my own weight on my shoulder. And I've already had like a broken collarbone there, so it's not really like a normal collarbone. And it just crunched really hard. Fast forward, all these months later, tried many things. Been to the doctor, did PT, got steroid shot, cortisone shot. Did all that. Didn't work. Finally decided to go to a different doctor. They were more aggressive, gave me an MRI. I have a slap tear in my, what's it called? The labrum. Yeah, my labrum, and a chipped bone in my AC joint. So 6 more weeks of PT, since they now know it's the labrum after all these
What difference
months.
does that make, out of curiosity? Like, what,
He just
knowing
said-
that? Do they have different exercises?
Different
that would
exercises that
work?
are going to strengthen my labrum. So essentially your shoulder is has a socket, and there's muscles all around it that they want to strengthen that will help that. And if I don't feel better after 6 weeks, they're going to talk about surgery. So,
Ew. Yuck.
I mean, I'm training well enough that I don't have to do surgery. I don't feel like I wouldn't probably do surgery at this point. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that the thing that sucks the most right now is I can't sleep on my left side. I can't lay on my
Yeah.
left shoulder with my arm across my body like this for too long
Yeah.
with all my weight.
He stole my side of the bed, which
Yeah, we've
is,
switched sides of the beds. So
I'm not really very happy about, but it's fine.
Yep. So, but anyways, so
there's
that's that injury story. But on to bigger and better things. We have a new segment.
We do. We have a couple of new segments. We wanted to maybe like go a little more lighthearted, but talk about some interesting, controversial things. Some of which, for whatever reason, and it's great. You know, I feel like over the last couple of weeks after our last episode, we've gotten, you know, some more traction with the podcast, some more, just some more engagement from people on some of the promo videos and things like that.
Yeah, one of our videos hit 1 million likes.
Okay, that's not true.
Oh.
But
you
know,
video.
it's a process, right? And we're slowly growing, which is what you're supposed to do. That's great. But it's been interesting because a few of our promo videos, we've gotten some feedback, and some of it is very negative, and some of it's very positive. Some of it's just opinions, which we love the opinions. That's the whole point when we started this, is for Weslee to share his opinions and for us to kind of talk about some different hot takes and things like that. So we're not scared of your opinions, even if they're wildly different from ours. So there's been a few where I'm like, well, that's an opinion and I don't agree with it, but you know, glad to hear it. But yeah, it led to a couple of interesting discussions based on comments we've had. So I think for the first one, we're going to talk about some hot takes. Yes?
Right. Yeah, let's do it. Hot takes.
Hot takes, okay? And this very first one is coming directly from a comment that somebody left on one of our videos. I forget even which video it was, but it was talking, I think I referred to a match in like a tournament as a fight, right? And this person says that a BJJ match or tournament is not a fight, but okay.
Yeah, you are so
that's
dumb
the hot
for
take
saying
that
that.
it's-
I can't believe you said that. Freaking so dumb.
Stupid. Which, first of all, I think just generally speaking, people call them fights or matches or whatever. They're used very synonymously, just casually speaking. I showed Weslee that though, right? So the hot take is that a BJJ match is not a fight. And I told Weslee when I saw it, and he was like, yeah, I agree with that. And I was like, whoa, I do not agree with that at all.
I mean, when I first started training in jiu-jitsu and was going to compete, I had a struggle of like, I asked Trent actually, because he was already competing in jiu-jitsu. I was like, what do I call this? Because this is not actually...
I remember having that too.
This is not a fight. I'm just, what do we call this? I don't remember what he said, but like eventually I heard the same debate online.
Yeah.
And I agree with it. I mean, it's not... I think fighting is... Again, and this is obviously going to come from a person who's never fought with their hands, so they're going to have that opinion. But I think if you fought...
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
That was rude.
It's true.
I fought with my hands
that's
yesterday.
not what I mean. With your fist punching somebody.
That is true.
Okay?
I don't like to punch people or
So,
things.
if you've boxed, MMA, Muay Thai, any type of... Where you actually making physical contact with somebody and they're punching you back and forth, kicking you, I think you call that a fight. But, I mean, who freaking cares at the end of the day?
Okay.
I call grappling matches fight sometimes just out of habit.
Just casually.
No, just out of habit, because
Yeah.
I do it for boxing, not because I agree that it's a fight. I don't think it's technically a fight.
But-
it's a grappling match.
But if
it's a
you
match,
were going
my opinion.
to fight in a boxing ring, you said you would call that a fight. MMA, you would call that a fight. Okay, but you wouldn't call a jiu-jitsu match a fight.
Not in the way I view a fight. Like my
How
perspective.
do you view a fight?
I told you.
I'm collecting data for
I
my
told
argument.
you. I think that a fight. I think there's a couple different. You can use it in a couple different ways, definitions for a fight. But for someone who has boxed and done any type of striking sport,
So you
when
think
I
striking
refer,
makes it a fight?
whenever I'm making contact with my hands or legs to
Okay.
your face.
Let me argue my point.
Go ahead, argue
Okay,
all
this
you
is
want.
what I think.
Miss Rational over here.
First and foremost, I think if you're looking at this in the context of a true fight, none of it's a real fight in the sense it's not a street fight, it's not a whatever, right? We're all doing it within the context of a sanctioned event of sorts, right? It's all for competition. It's for sport. Yes?
Okay, I'm just waiting for you to get to your point.
Okay, so I'm saying that first of all. So, but if number one, if somebody is actively trying to choke me unconscious or break my arm, right? I feel like they're fighting, and I feel like I'm fighting against them breaking my arm or choking me unconscious, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think striking has to be a part of that. And I also feel like any combat, you're laughing, sorry, I'm getting all about it. Any combat sport operates within a certain amount of, within a rule set, right? A specific rule set. And that's why I say it's different from like a street fight or whatever. Like a no kidding, I'm getting mugged, I'm fighting this person. There's literally no rules. Poke them in the eye, run away, you know? But if you're doing it for sport like this, any fight, any match for competition purposes has a rule set that's aligned to it. So you're boxing, you're hitting people, but there are rules. You can't kick them. You know, even in MMA, there are certain, obviously the rules are a lot more broad, but there are certain things you can't do. You can't gouge their eyes out, you know? We're all operating within a rule set. Oh, in boxing, you can't choke people. You can't try to break their arms.
All right, so circle back around to why this is a fight.
Okay.
Or not a fight.
So jiu-jitsu, right? It's the same thing. It's still a fight and you're operating within that rule set. So no, you can't strike them, but you can choke them. You can break their arm. You can break their leg. You can break their ankle or pop their knee out. There's other things that you can do. You're just operating within the rule set of jiu-jitsu. And just because jiu-jitsu doesn't include one component of a fight, which is striking, I don't think inherently means it's not fighting. You're still fighting. You just are operating within the rule sets of that particular combat sport. Did I convince you?
No, not at all. I mean,
did I convince anybody?
I can agree that there are obviously there's elements of a fight in grappling. So yeah, I don't know. It's just my personal opinion.
Of a fight?
I mean, yeah. I mean, they're not all those elements are always present in like boxing or whatever. But just, I'm telling you, I think that if you ask someone who's actually taken punches and given punches or kicks or whatever, I'm saying that generally depending on what sport you've done, they're gonna probably think they're not gonna assign the sport of grappling as a fight, quote unquote. And I just think because it demands a different level of, I'll use the word carefully, respect, because you're getting punched in the face. So now if we added some punching to grappling, then we just have MMA. So, and that's a fight. So
exactly.
But I mean, I don't care that much anyways. So if you want to call it a fight, call it a fight. But if I say, I have kind of altered my vocabulary a little bit because it does feel weird as someone who has gone to the fights. When you go to you don't say, I'm going to the fights talking about IBJJF. You know, you don't, but when you say I'm going to watch the fights, you're talking about UFC, boxing, MMA, Golden Gloves.
I don't disagree that those are fights, but I do think that I would call jiu-jitsu a fight. And that's my opinion.
I think is that we could say that there's types of fights. And
there are different types of fights, and that is another
But also,
type of fight.
whenever me and you argue, that's a fight. But we aren't fighting like what I'm talking about fighting.
Well, that's why I say if we're talking about a real, and that's different. But if you're talking a real street fight, I don't think any of this constitutes fighting. Which maybe leads into the next one. Maybe we should just go to the next hot take that I have. Okay, that most people training jiu-jitsu would lose in a real fight, like a street fight.
That's dumb.
Okay.
No, most people wouldn't lose. That's ridiculous. I think that grapplers are actually highly underestimated, and you don't understand the amount of capability a real grappler, even like just a blue belt, has if they can grab you. Yeah. And it is a lot easier to grab you than people think that it is, especially someone who's untrained. So if you've like been in any type of combat sport, you have some level of awareness of not letting someone grab you. some sports lend more to keeping people from grabbing you. Some don't care about letting people get close. Like if you're, for instance, if you are a boxer who like fights on the inside and like
Yeah.
maybe you're really really short, or not short, like you're not very long, you have to get close to your opponent. That's going to make it a lot easier for someone to get a hold of you. But if you're a lot longer and you know how to keep a person on the outside really well, especially in a crowd of people where you have a lot of craziness going on, you maybe can keep the fight outside. But still, especially with a crowd of people, whenever you're backed into a corner, it's a lot
Yeah.
easier for that person to get to you. So I think that's one thing. Kind of, I'm going like off a little bit, but that boxers, and this is I'm relating this because I've done now jiu-jitsu at a decent level. I'm not saying high level or anything, but boxing, same, you know. And I think both sides, unless they've both done it, it's the only time I've seen this, that they both underestimate the abilities of the other one.
Yeah.
Extremely underestimate. I think a lot of boxers who don't really know much about grappling, they like honestly think jiu-jitsu is like, they just see the gi and they think karate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I mean, most
so
people
far
do.
away from that, you know?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't think that most people would lose. Like you said, especially for somebody who's untrained, there are definitely skills there that a grappler could use. I also think, especially if they compete, I would like to think that there's a level of like pressure of operating under, because, you know, it's one of those like you always say, oh, I would totally do this in that situation, but you've never been in it before. And, you know, if somebody comes up to me and tries to grab your purse, or, you know, somebody comes up to you and like tries to start a fight with you and you're like, this is totally what I would do. You don't really know until you're in that situation. I would like to think that somebody who is like trained and especially competed would be a little bit better at like staying calm under pressure and like thinking a little more logically. And I would think that they would have they would have a leg up on somebody who hasn't trained in anything. Now, in a street fight, would it be helpful if they knew how to hit someone? Probably. But I don't think that means that they would, you know, they would inherently lose a real fight. You know what I mean? I think they have skills they could use for sure.
I mean, if you're look, there's so many variables that go into it. If you take your average man, average woman, and you put them up against someone who is untrained in a street fight, right? That's what we're talking about. You know, they're going to be able to beat that person.
Yeah.
Like 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
People who don't have any training, everything they think is the right answer is 1000% the wrong answer. So it's going to be infinitely easy to beat people who are untrained. Even if there's a size discrepancy, you know, even if it's male versus female to a certain point of size and whatnot, you know, there's limits. But being even just like a blue belt grappler who has like actual experience, even with competing helps a lot too, then you have a much higher chance of beating someone out, you know, in the street. And super underestimated how dangerous, you know, anyone who's trained at all in anything can be. I agree. You know, in any sport. So.
Yeah, you made that comment is something I've said since day one training, is that everything that's like my instinct in jiu-jitsu is usually wrong. Like, I feel like training like retrains you to have different instincts for how to respond in a fight. Yes, I said fight. It's retraining your instincts. Because
you were talking about an actual fight where someone would be beating,
but
punching you.
I'm also talking about in a fight, in a grappling match. You know, that your natural instinct, at least for me, is usually wrong, and it's like retraining your instincts to react differently when something happens that's actually more advantageous to you. But I think for a lot of people, your natural instinct going into something like that is probably wrong, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay, next one. Okay. The gym scoreboard isn't real.
Go ahead first.
I was trying to think if I've gone first on any of them, but I guess I haven't. I agree.
The gym scoreboard isn't real, but elaborate. What does that mean?
Meaning, if you win a match in the gym, or like if you're beaten up on an upper belt or whatever in the gym, it's not a real reflection of your jiu-jitsu. Like the gym, how you perform in the gym is not a real reflection of how good your jiu-jitsu is necessarily.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how I want to put this. I think that your ability under pressure is what really matters. Okay, so can you do what you normally do under pressure? What's the point of any of it? If let's just put it in self-defense purposes, right? That's
Same
why a lot
thing,
of people
real street
start,
fight.
right? If you can't do this under pressure, then how the heck do you think you're gonna be able to
Yeah.
defend yourself in a fight? And, you know, like Floyd Mayweather always said, I'm not going to quote him exactly, but essentially it was around the lines.
To paraphrase Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, it was like, you know, it don't really matter what happens in the gym. What matters is what happens in the bright lights, you know. So you can lose, you know, day after day in the gym, you know, and then go out there and put on win after win after win.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter what happened in the gym. I mean, it matters to an extent, but it's not the same. You know, all the losses that you're taking in the gym is building you up for the opponent that you're going to fight.
Yeah.
That is maybe not on the level of the people you're sparring with, you know? So just because you were that guy who put it on Floyd Mayweather that time, let's go look at, because there have been people who, you know,
and
did something to Floyd in sparring.
He said that, hasn't he?
Yeah, and then you go look at their record and it's like, but you're not doing the same stuff. So, and I just think that it's the same thing, and I'm sure this is a culture, an issue across all martial arts and all sports, really.
Yeah.
You know, that people think that they are, you know, at a certain skill level or good, you know, if I can beat this guy, then I'm this good and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that there's so many other factors in a training environment. When you're in a competition, the main factor that changes is the pressure. The pressure you're under, your adrenaline's high. It's completely different. But in a training environment, you have so many other factors that are going on with your rolling partners. There's size discrepancies. Like, how often, first of all, do you roll in your gym with somebody who is your same belt level and your same size and in your same like age range? How often do you have those rolling partners in your gym? It's usually not very often. So
if
you're
anything,
dealing.
I would argue that, you know, not competing and only, you know, training at your own gym is actually doing a disservice to your confidence, because especially if you're on the smaller side, and it might have the reverse effect if you're a bigger guy. If you're smashing all the smaller guys and you don't have any bigger guys to compete with, then you have this false sense of confidence, and vice versa. You know, like with me, I have all these big giant guys I got to deal with. And then I go out and I compete against people, and I'm dealing with a completely different set of skills.
Yes.
These guys move way faster. They can get out in and out of positions way faster, but they're not near as strong. And I can actually, you know, it's like
move them.
Sometimes it's like I'm getting to practice this particular sweep, setup, whatever, or like skill that I can't always practice in my gym because I can't even lift the guys because my legs aren't strong enough. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So I think that it can kill your confidence a little bit or give you a false confidence.
It can
if
go
you don't
either
compete.
way. Well, and on top of that, other factors, right? You don't actually know how hard your opponent is taking it on you, right? If you're so if you're the blue belt who's like, oh, I tapped out that purple belt, I whatever, you don't actually ever know if you really tapped that person out based on your own skill, or if they were taking it easy on you. And to go even one further, if they're working something new, like I just had this happen to me like last week, where I've been actively trying to work something that I suck at. I know I'm really bad at it. And so I go into my roles intentionally doing what I know I'm bad at because I'm trying to practice it and I'm trying to get better, which means I sometimes immediately get my guard passed because I'm trying something new and I'm trying something different. And I'm
pretty much trying something different with me every time, right?
Shut up. I hate you so much. You're the worst human. That is not funny, Weslee.
Well, that was pretty funny.
Anyways, So you never know that either. Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, I was able to pass that person's guard. When in reality, they were practicing and they've been working on a new technique that they're trying, like they're not bringing you their A game necessarily, you know? And if they did, they would probably, you know, wipe the mats with you. So yeah, I feel like on top of the fact that you're dealing with all these different, you know, sizes and different weights and ages and all of these things, you also have that factor of, you know, when you go into a tournament, they are trying their hardest to beat you. Period. Dot. Mm-hmm. When you roll in the gym, they are not always trying their hardest to beat you, or they're trying really hard, but they are working something they're not familiar with and they're kind of feeling it out. And so you're not necessarily getting the best of your opponent.
Yeah, so I'm going to throw this back at you, though, and ask you a question. So what is more disrespectful to... I don't think it's very disrespectful, personally, in my opinion, but what do you think about if somebody is not giving you their all, and because they want to, they don't see you as much of a threat, so they are...
Gosh.
Well, you know, that's what white belts and blue belts, I work, you know, stuff I'm not very good at. That's what you were just saying, right? Yeah. So they don't see you as much of, you don't see them as much of a threat, so you're working, let's, for instance, I will try to play open guard on my bad side. Like I usually play De La Riva on my left side, so whenever I'm with lower belts, I'll try to specifically do it on my right side, you know, or as I've gotten a lot better at it now, so I don't just do it with white belts and blue belts. But so do you think that's disrespectful? Or is it more, or what's, you know, I don't feel like that's disrespectful, but, or is it more disrespectful when you do something, because like in your mind, it's like you don't really have what you need to have to beat me at this.
Yeah.
Or when the guy, I hate this, it bugs me so much, when they just like let you have whatever grips.
That's okay.
Get whatever you want, because whatever you grab really isn't going to do anything to me. Yeah. I can just destroy you.
That's what I hate.
That I was going to say, bugs the crap out of me.
I much prefer the mindset like you said, and you told me that once before, and I've tried to do that, especially like if there's something I'm not great at and it's a lower belt, then yeah, that's my perfect opportunity to try something that I've been trying to work on, I'm not super good at, and I would never get it or have an opportunity to work on it if I tried it with you or, you know, somebody else who was a higher belt than me. But I'm going with a, you know, fresher white belt, and I'm like, cool, that's my opportunity to kind of try something different. And I'm still trying, I'm giving it my all. It's just something that my all isn't as good. It's not at as high of a level as some of the other things that I would do. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what drives me crazy. When you can tell, it becomes, what's the word that I'm thinking of? When like, don't patronize. Don't patronize me, you know? It's just like waving in my face, like, oh, that makes me so frustrated. Like, I'd rather you just smash me the whole time than sit there and be like, oh, it's fine, whatever. Oh, yeah, I'll give you that. And just like obviously not trying.
Well, sometimes I talk to you about this, and I think that the men, I think it happens more often than maybe women think it happens. And I see guys that I train with, and I know they go really hard with me, and then I watch them roll with you, and I'm like, man, I wish he would have gone harder. You're like, what are you talking about? I thought he was giving his all. I'm like, he was pulling back.
I hate that too, and I recognize that.
And I hate it too. I don't like it either. You know, as a competitor for you, I want them. You know, I'm not saying that this guy who's like, I'm not like saying this guy who's, you know, but they like pull back so much, like they don't know how to learn control, I guess. I don't know, or like I don't know how to put it, but it's like, I got to go down to 10%. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. I hate that too. And I recognize men are in a tough spot, right? If they are going and just like crushing all of the women and going as hard as they possibly can, then that looks bad on them too, right? That like, and it could make women feel unsafe rolling with men who are gonna do that. Like, you have to understand, you're stronger than me. You have like you're genetically more liable to squish me. You know what I mean? But as a female competitor, I don't I want you, again, I don't mind being smashed. I'm perfectly comfortable getting beat up for 6 minutes or however long in the gym. And so I hate going into a match like thinking you were really trying and then realizing, or you telling me like, no, I think that they're pulling back a lot. I'd really rather you not pull back. Just freaking smash me, you know? If you go to armbar me or whatever, you know, do it slowly and give me a chance to tap and don't be a total jerk about it. But I think you can still roll really hard without, you know, being a jerk to the ladies.
Yeah. Okay, next one. I got this one.
You got
blue
this
belts
one.
are the most dangerous person rank in the gym.
I don't agree with that.
No,
I still think it's the little white belts.
No, the little white belts. I think it's the big white belts.
The big one. I guess I meant little in rank.
But I still think that everybody learns this on a curve, because I've seen some
That's true.
blue belts who still do that spazzy white belt. But I think the part that's the most dangerous about the white belts, or really anybody that, it doesn't have to be a white belt, it could be a younger kid who just finally got their blue belt or something like that, where they don't get submission attempts very often. So when they do, especially with someone who's been beating them so much, they want to get it so bad.
Yeah.
And they get the arm and they just like rip way too hard, and that's how they hurt people.
Yeah.
That's what I think is the most common, and that's what I watch out for the most when I'm rolling with a white belt. Because I don't care what rank you are. I mean, anybody, just like in boxing, you can get caught on any day of the week. You know, it's so same thing in jiu-jitsu. I think it's a little harder, you know, going with someone so much lower level than you are. But
again, like we've talked before, and you know, Tracy and I have talked about this too with rolling with people who are like way smaller than us, that sometimes you go into some of those matches and it's somebody lower ranked or way smaller than you. You don't really deal with that, but I deal with that, having people smaller than me.
Must be nice.
But you find yourself in a situation where you're like, ooh, I don't want to smush them, or like, oh, I don't want to like take it too hard on them. I'm not trying to like tap this person out 7 times in one roll. And then before you know it, you're like, well, crap, now I found myself in a bad position, kind of put myself in a bad spot because I wasn't going 100%, and now I'm in a bad spot, and now they've caught me with something that they wouldn't have if I'd been.
Well, that's okay too, to an extent, you know, because sometimes you'll roll with a lower belt, and for a while you're like, they're never really getting close to catching you.
Yeah.
And then there's always a moment, like a roll, where like one day you were like, oh crap, I let that go too far. And so then every roll after that, you literally have to make a cognizant decision, like, okay, I have to now pick it up. And so that's when what we were talking about earlier, those guys, you know, or girls, they start thinking,
yes,
oh, I'm getting closer to so and so. I can almost tap so and so. But really, you have to have a lot of understanding of what it feels like for someone to give you some positions. Like, I'll give it for instance. We have a guy at my gym, Lane, who leg locker for sure, you know, obviously, and taught me a lot about leg locks. But I have picked up over time rolling with him and with all the different people that I know I got a really good idea when he's giving me some what's the right phrase, like leniency, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I always try to check myself. I'm like, man, was he letting me work? Was he working, or did I actually like get close to something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like I usually have a pretty good. I try to not ever be cocky with that and thinking I got close to. I don't even think in those terms. I got close to getting an upper belt.
Yeah.
I don't really care about that at all, actually. I feel like it's disrespectful to tap if you do tap an upper belt.
I
don't know, which you shouldn't really. I mean, I don't know why that feels like a thing, but I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, so but yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily. Now, I will say, I think it's probably like a subset of people, but maybe like the spazzy white belt who just got their blue belt, they, you know, but they would have been equally as dangerous as a spazzy white belt. But then the second they get their blue, and now they like think they're hot stuff, but they're still super spazzy. But you think they're safer because they're wearing a blue belt. I mean, I could see that, but generally speaking.
In my trade, I'm an electrician, and we have apprentices. It's a 5-year program, and then after your 5 years, you take your journeyman's license, and you become a journeyman. right? And so we always say that a 5th-year apprentice is the smartest apprentice, and a first-year journeyman is the dumbest journeyman.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like,
Yeah,
it's
like
like
that.
somewhat kind of like that, you know what I mean? Like, you're really good for all the white belts, but as soon as you go to the blue belt, I mean, you're like the lowest level
Yeah.
blue belt, I don't know. So it's kind of relatable to that. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. So what do you
Okay.
got next?
Next one.
Or
Okay.
do you want to do all of these or save some of them?
Well, I don't think we'll do all of them because
Yeah, I
we
think we
have
should
too
save
many,
some of
so we'll have
those.
to save some. Do we want to skip to the other?
Yeah, let's do the next.
Okay. The next segment we are calling points, penalty, or DQ.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it's things that people do. And is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing that they should get a penalty for? Or should they just straight up be DQ'd because that should literally never, ever happen?
Yeah.
Okay?
Straight up.
Okay. So, number 1, coaching your rolling partner mid-roll.
Yeah, I think that one right there is very what is that? I cannot get my words out. It's situational. Like, it just depends on the scenario.
Yeah.
Am I about to get tapped and whoa. Now, why don't you move your hand right here?
Yeah.
This is where you could really finish this a little bit better. Okay, why don't we let go of all this and let's start over from right there, all right?
Yeah.
Remember that. Now, it's different. That's different than, like, me rolling with anybody. Even if it was an upper belt, rolling with me. And, like, I don't know, making a big mistake and they see where I could fix it real quick and we just right back to it. But it's not like this long, drawn-out thing,
Yeah.
And I've done it with some white belts before where I see them doing something that's like either a blatant disqualification, reaping, and I'm like, oh, see this right here? Like, you need to make sure this leg doesn't go across right here because that's reaping, That's not necessarily coaching, that's like giving tips and stuff like that. So, what about you?
I mean,
in the context of like upper belts doing it when they're about to get tapped, definitely disqualification.
DQ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if it's somebody, if you're genuinely trying to help them, either number 1, like with permission, like, hey, is it okay if I show you?
Yeah,
show
that's
you
true
this
too.
real quick.
I've asked
and I've
people.
had people do that, and sometimes it's like they want to be coached, and sometimes they're like, no, man, I just want to roll.
Yep.
I also think sometimes in the context of a relationship makes it okay, like with you and Lane as an example. Like, if y'all have been, like, you've had that relationship for a long time where you've rolled together, you've learned from him, you've asked him a lot of questions on the things that he's really good at. And so I think if you were to be in the middle of a roll or something just happened, whatever, and he was like, yeah, man, let me show you this real quick, I think you would be really open to hearing that. But if it's just some random dude in an open mat, it's like, I don't really want to hear, I don't really need to hear what you random person want to tell me about my jiu-jitsu, know?
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think if it comes down to it's obvious that I was about to get you and you paused and coached me, that's the disqualification.
Agreed.
If I'm being outclassed by somebody who knows more about me in a situation, like when you go to no-gi open mats, they're like over at 10th Planet, you don't know what any of those guys' ranks are. So I'm willing to take any bit of advice on, and I feel like at this point I have a really good understanding of if I'm getting good advice or if it's like, okay, I don't think this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
And that's
so I will take it in, even if it is a random guy. But half the time, the random guys don't usually want to. It's the ones who I feel like upper belts who don't want to get tapped by you or something like that. But I feel like as you go up in the ranks, that happens a lot less.
Yeah.
I think if you're a white belt and blue belt and you're getting close to tapping an upper belt is when you might see that happen.
Yeah. So. Okay. So wait, so where do we land?
Well, it depends on the situation. We straight up DQ if you are doing it to keep from getting tapped. So,
if you did it with permission or, whatever, then points.
Yeah.
If you're just some random dude who wants to mansplain something to me, then I'm gonna have to give you a penalty for that. I'm just sorry. I'm extra sensitive about it because I feel like somebody just did it to me in the comments recently, and Weslee disagrees, and I'm extra sensitive to the fact that men don't like to hear what women have to say, especially in the world of combat sports. Anyways, that can be its own hot take. Okay, Number 2, coaching a higher belt who's rolling with a white belt at an open mat.
Okay, so this has a story behind it.
Yes, this has happened to you before.
I was a white belt a while back.
A while back. That would have been a long while back.
A while back, a few years ago.
Yeah.
So, it was at Bushido, open mat. I think I was there with my cousin maybe, and there was an upper belt that I roll with, a lot bigger than me. You know, I think all these guys always think that I'm bigger, and I'm not. This guy was probably 170. It had to be. I think he was blue, maybe purple, and he had his friend next to him coaching him aggressively against me.
You little white belt.
Yeah, and he's like, now as the guy is like smashing me and like going so hard at an open mat, like it's,
like
tournament.
We're at Pans or something.
And he ends up getting me an arm bar. I mean, guy's coaching me, and he even looks over and goes, "Sorry, man."
He's not coaching you. He's coaching the other guy.
I keep saying that.
I know.
He's coaching the other guy, and he says, "Sorry, man. He's getting ready for a tournament. I'm trying to help him." I'm like, "Whatever, man." And he ends up getting me an arm bar and rips my freaking arm and popped my arm with that open mat. That whole scenario happened right there.
Yeah.
So disqualification on that. Yeah. No, definitely super whack if you are there coaching an upper belt against a smaller white belt.
Yeah.
Give me a break. If you need that much coaching at an open mat to prepare for a tournament, maybe you should revisit like what we're doing here, because it's over the top if you ask me.
Yeah, I agree with you. If y'all are like the same belt level, then whatever.
You don't need to coach.
Even then, I feel like it's a little.
You can't hear your coaches half the time. You need to be able to. That's what's so nice about open mats and not having a coach in your ear 24/7 is you need to know how to be able to fight without a coach in your ear.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. That it's just a little aggressive. Open mats are not generally that type of energy. Bushido wasn't really ever that type of energy.
Yeah.
But you never know what you're going to get at open mat. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Generally speaking, in any situation, even if it's in a class or whatever, somebody's rolling with a lower belt, you don't coach the upper belt on how to beat the lower belt.
And that's really
they're just trying to survive, And
it's really just pathetic, really.
It's
is. Like you need to be you have to be coached against a lower belt. Like it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And you're way bigger.
Yeah.
He's way bigger than me.
Yeah.
And I'm always like that's probably moments like that is probably why I hesitate going with bigger guys sometimes.
Yeah.
Because when you've been burned, what's down that road potentially. So anyways, on to the next.
Okay, next. Points, penalty, or DQ? Warm-ups.
DQ.
Ooh, harsh.
Yeah, I mean,
I was going to go penalty.
Oh, well, I guess, again, depends on the circumstances. I'm big on CLA, so I think a well-designed, if you know how to create games.
Yeah.
Warm-up game.
I'm good with like a warm-up game, warm-up drills.
We're doing like straight judo warm-ups, like cleaning the mat, and we're doing running around in a circle. Like, look, I'm not hating on gyms that do that. Like, I'm all with it. Like, trust me, boxing, we have a whole warm-up, but I feel like even shadow boxing is like you're doing what your body kind of does in your sport, right? So if we're doing like, you can call it light grappling or like a warm-up game that has something to do with some type of jiu-jitsu movement in it, that will work well enough for a warm-up. Your body doesn't know the difference between grappling warm-up, shooting free throw warm-up, jogging in a circle warm-up, forward roll. Your body doesn't know the difference between that. Your heart rate gets up the same, you sweat the same.
Yep.
Yeah, and all that stuff's happening. So,
in
my opinion, it's filler. But to each his own. Like I said, I'm not hating on anybody. I'm down with it.
It's very common at most gyms, but I would say like for me, I can almost look at this very literally. Like if I'm trying out gyms and they're doing standard warm-ups at the beginning, I'm not going to give it bonus points for like, oh, this is a gym I would love to go to. I'm not going to DQ it and like completely throw it out, but it's definitely going to be a negative.
I guess I won't say it's a DQ, but it would be a big bonus, if it was something different than that.
Yep.
And I just feel like it just takes up a lot of time, I don't like the time, we're all there putting our time in. I think I want it to go towards learning.
Yeah.
You know, and like then some gyms have you do certain movement drills that are specific to the technique that they're working on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a gray area too, because I also have a different stance on that than a lot of gyms. I think like the drilling aspect of certain things, you know, like once you've done it 5 or 6 times, 10 times, like you don't really need to drill it anymore. I don't think, you know, unless it's been a long time since you need a refresher on it. But you can get right into the live action of that movement pretty quick and you can refine it in your CLA training. But you know, people are going to disagree with me on that. But that's just kind of my view.
Okay.
So yeah, that's that. I'll take it. I won't say DQ on that. I'll say penalty. Yeah, but definitely a big bonus if we're not doing warm-ups.
Okay, points, penalty, or DQ. Celebrating loudly when you tap a higher belt.
Wow, you put that in there and didn't even tell me about it?
What?
You did that to me.
I know I did. That's why I made that face. But that doesn't count because you're my husband.
Yeah, and you were super whack when you did that too. I thought that was so lame. I'm like, that was that moment we just talked about a little bit ago whenever the lower belt catches you by surprise and you weren't quite ready for it because you've been giving them...
I know, but I also told you, like, I wouldn't have done that to anybody else. I did that because it was you.
Which I know.
And you always beat me up all the time. It's so annoying.
And I'm saying, like, that's even more frustrating. I wouldn't do it to anybody but you!
Because I'm most comfortable.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. That's how annoying it is. It's like, you would never treat anybody like crap.
Anybody else.
But your husband.
Exactly. Oh to anybody else. I agree. That's gonna be a hard DQ for sure. Boop, DQ.
Yeah, you slept on the couch for a while after that.
Really sorry about that. Okay. Points, penalty, or DQ. Starting on your knees for rounds.
DQ.
Wow.
Yeah, lame. I don't like it.
I don't like it either, but I'd go penalty.
I'm like, man, and I know we got guys at my gym who start on their knees. No, I'm not hating on you, but like, pull guard. Learn to pull guard.
Yeah. It's not helpful to competitors for sure.
Yeah, and it's just not even realistic. You know, that takes me back to, can you win in a street fight? Well, I don't know. Do you start on your knees at the gym?
I mean, it's been done a million times before, but I always love the TikTok videos or whatever where somebody comes to like mug them and they're like, I've been waiting for this, let's go. And they just sit on the ground and start butt scooting, you know?
Well, my thing is too, like, look, and especially the guys know, I consider myself now, like, I play top and bottom. I like to pass and I like to play guard. I do both. I enjoy both. But like, I do like to play guard a lot. And so if the guys know I'm going to pull guard, just stand with me to give me the chance to practice my guard pulls. Because that's a skill in itself. Yeah. It's like knowing how to properly guard pull, knowing the timing. Maybe I want to fake you out. Maybe I want to do a guard pull, fake guard pull ankle pick. Yeah. Or something. You know what I mean? So, and the guys who don't compete, they do not understand that. So I don't know why. I think that they're afraid of injury. But I'm not out here going to like, try to do some crazy throw on you.
If you could just stand up and
I might try to do an ankle pick or like, it depends on you. I'm definitely not trying to throw nobody who's like way bigger than me because like I said, that's whenever injuries happen in my opinion is I try to throw someone, it fails and they fall on top of me.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? So
that's how you hurt your shoulder.
Kind of.
So yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I'm not going to DQ them because I get it. There's some circumstances, but it's definitely a penalty. I'm like, dang, I wish, especially now because my guard sucks, and that's something I've actively been
you're in the same boat that I was in for a long time.
You know, and I'm proud of myself for doing that because I've made like a conscious effort to say like I'm going to get better at my open guard. And so that's what I'm working constantly. So I'm gonna pull guard, but when you start on your knees, well, now you've kind of forced me to play passing, which is fine. But like, that's the game I was playing so much before. I'm comfortable with that. It's not really giving me an opportunity to do what I'm really trying to work on, which is not when you're in a training environment, that's what you should be doing, working on the things that you're struggling with, not just hitting your A game all the time.
Which is why I like CLA so much.
Yes.
And then that's another thing. Like, even if you do guard pull with someone who's on their knees, or you play guard, like, that's like so unrealistic in a fight. No, not in our divisions. People are not on their knees typically, unless like a double underpass or an over underpass.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're at least one knee up, one knee down, or some form like of that, or squatting, outside passing, and that's what's hard. When you got everybody that's on their knees, how the heck do you train for a division where everybody's passing standing?
Yeah, for sure.
How? So, and that's why, like I said, this CLA, and you force people to get out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing what they like are, used to doing.
If they follow the rules of the game.
Yeah,
but that's another topic.
Yeah.
Okay. Points, penalty, or DQ. Highlight reeling, open mat rolls.
I don't know how I feel about this. I've highlight reeled.
You've done it.
My sparring partners in boxing.
Yeah.
That I didn't know, and so I'm kind of like, if you do it to me, I don't really care too much. I would like it if you just said, "Hey, yo, you cool if I post this?" It's like,
yeah.
I've like, especially at my own gym where we have cameras. I put the cameras up so I'm able to see the cameras, and
yeah.
I've had clips I wanted to post, but I think pretty much every time I've always been like, "Hey, you mind if I post this clip?" Like, I don't want to disrespect anybody at the gym, and I'm not trying to disrespect nobody outside the gym either. But normally it's all cool, like if the homie Dylan like works me, you know what I mean, and he does something cool, I'm like, yeah, dude, post that, dude, that was dope, So, but I think it's cool. I mean, for the most part, as long as you're not like being an a-hole about it.
Hateful about it, yeah, for sure.
So, and you like straight up murk somebody, and you are, I don't know, just making them look really, really, really bad. I don't know. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, people are gonna do it in tournaments, and you're expected to do it in a tournament. So,
don't suck.
Get good, you know? You heard it here first. Okay. Points.
Well, you didn't give your take.
Oh. I mean,
we didn't
agree.
even say points.
Points, penalty, or DQ.
Well, definitely not DQ. I wouldn't say it's. I don't know. I don't actually like to classify it as any of those.
It's just like it's like a flow roll, man.
Yeah.
We're just moving. All is fine.
I guess so.
Yeah, I think it's mostly fine. I feel like now there's one thing about doing it like in your home gym versus going to another open mat or something and then like filming your matches and posting those. I feel like that could be perceived a little differently.
Doing it hatefully.
Yeah, don't do that.
And like just for clout, then DQ.
Don't do that.
All right. But there's a level of look at me whenever you do that in the first place, because you're kind of boasting about the cool stuff you did.
Yeah.
But I'm doing we're all training hard and not everybody sees the cool stuff we do. I'm not hating on that, because I want to see cool stuff my homies do too.
Yeah.
And if they did it to me, then more power to them.
Last time I made
But don't be mad whenever I post you too.
Yeah. I made a highlight reel recently for somebody who is now a friend, and I made her highlight reel when she beat me in a tournament one time, and I was like, I commented on it. I'm like, I am honored to have made your highlight reel.
I would say I'm honored to be clipped, but
it's fine, it happens. And I would do the same thing if I fought her again and did something great to her. I mean, that's what we're all gonna do.
But we're talking about open mat specifically.
Open mat
training.
Specifically, again, I feel like in your home gym, it's one thing. I think it'd probably be kind of messed up to like go to a gym at an open mat or go to an open mat at somebody else's gym and then like do something to one of their people and film it and post it.
I will say this. I think it also depends too, because in boxing, I did that when I was sparring with amateurs. Yeah. If I was sparring with the pros and I got the better of them, I'm not like boasting, but that happened.
Same thing as
I got beat up by them too, but I also did that plenty of times, and I still have footage, and I haven't released or put anything out, even though it was like looked really good. But I just don't think that's right, because this person is trying to make a living off of boxing, and actually make money off of it. It would be very uncool for me to put that out and show their weaknesses to possibly their opponent, you know. So that I've never done.
Not to mention just
know?
like boasting about it's kind of like the whole celebrating when you tap an upper belt thing, you know. It's like, don't be disrespectful about it.
Yeah, but I think those are two different. There's a fine line there for sure, and you have to have some social awareness of it if you're going to be posting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, points. It's fine.
And also,
just
if
be
you're
nice
like,
about it.
If you're a purple belt, blue belt, and you tap a brown belt, I definitely would not be posting that.
I wouldn't either.
You know what I mean? Or I wouldn't even post any of me tapping anybody in an open mat. I would do like a cool sweep or something like that. You know what I mean?
That's the thing.
Or a cool guard entry. It wouldn't be some crazy like, look at this awesome tap that I got.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
I feel like if I'm going to an open mat at another place, the most I'm going to do is go back to my gym and go to you or my coaches and be like, oh, I hit this on somebody at that open mat. Like, that's all that needs to really happen at an open mat, I think. But okay. Points, penalty, or DQ. Parents coaching over an athlete's actual coach during a competition.
Yeah, that's a DQ.
DQ!
Yeah, so that is so annoying.
It is so annoying. Oh my goodness.
I think it's mostly new parents.
Yeah.
Or parents that think they should have a say that they shouldn't have. So, yeah, it's just really distracting for the kids as it is, and there should really, you know, it's like too many cooks in the kitchen. There should only be one voice, and it should be the primary voice that kid has heard, because they're usually attuned to that voice, and they can hear it in a big crowd of people. So, and when I say attuned, like obviously the kid's going to be attuned to his parents' voice, but they're not attuned to their parents' voice in a training environment.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, that's very irritating.
Not to mention that sometimes the parents are trained, sometimes they're not, you know, and even if they have trained, that doesn't necessarily mean that they know what that person has been working on with a coach in their training environment. Like they're not necessarily speaking the exact same language. They don't know the things that they've been working in private lessons or whatever necessarily. And so it can be confusing when you're hearing something from the coach that you've been working with, and then you're also hearing something different from the parent, not to mention just distracting. You need to tell what happened at that AGF that we went to
I'm get into it.
recently. Because this happened and it was wild because it was exactly that. It was a bunch of parents yelling so loud, coaching this kid who was fighting. Their kid, whatever. And
you can tell the story.
Yeah, you. Did you want to tell it?
Well, I don't know if you're gonna.
I mean, I just started telling it, so I can tell it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So
I don't know. I didn't know if you were there right behind me.
Yeah, I was watching the whole thing. Okay. Oh yeah, because Weslee. Oh yes, it was Weslee was coaching. I don't remember if it was our kid or one of our fighters, but he was coaching, and it was the other coach. So that's why I was standing right there.
It kind of happened to me, so that's why I was wondering if you wanted me to.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
You tell that story, Weslee. I have been kicked off of the storytelling.
Well, I've had interactions with this coach multiple times now.
Yeah, you have.
So it just seems...
This was the first one, though, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to go into the other interactions, but so essentially...
I was going to.
I don't want to. So
I think you should a little bit.
I don't want to. So anyways, the parents were coaching super, super loud. The coach is probably one of the most aggressive coaches I've ever heard. And like profanity like crazy. And then the match was over, and he told the parents to shut the F up.
Yep.
And what he was trying to get, the point he was trying to get across is a valid point. The way he went about it was wild and not great for other kids to hear, you know. Yeah. But he is essentially telling them that kid cannot, he's already dealing with enough stress. He can't deal with my voice and y'all's voice at the same time. And I think that any shouting at all that is not purely to be above the level of noise that's in the arena is unnecessary. Because it's already a stressful environment. And the last thing you want to do is put stress on your kid. So, and that's what happened. And kind of what happened later, there was no like, I didn't ever get into with the guy or anything like that. But throughout the rest of the day, we ended up running into him a couple times, and he heard me coaching, and he gave me a lot of props for my coaching, and even what would you say, Bailey?
He like recommended.
Yeah,
So
he
there was somebody who
recommended
was looking
another.
for
There's
a
another
gym
person there, yeah, that he was
and was like,
recommending
wherever they
them
are, you need to go there.
because they were from Oklahoma. This other
Yeah.
crew, and so, but he was a cool guy. He just, I think, he was just a little heated and
Yeah.
a little frustrated with the parents and
Well,
stuff. But
and he also, I remember too, like what started it on top of the fact that they were yelling, then the parents started saying like, you need to listen. You're not listening. And so he kind of like snapped back at the parents and he's like, he can't listen because y'all are so loud. Like he needs to be listening to me and y'all are shouting and there's too many things. And then he's like, and there's so much pressure on this kid. So all of y'all need to just shut the F up and
that
let
was
me
still
coach.
so wild, though. 'Cause
And
he
that's
was-
when we were
whole
like,
arena heard
oh
it.
my goodness. So yeah, he definitely took it a little far, but I mean, it's also like understandable where he was coming from. I think what he was saying is exactly right. Parents need to chill out and let the coach coach. But you know, yelling and screaming profanities at them was probably.
I think
not
there's
the
different
way to
cultures
handle
too
that.
in different sports. Like, I don't think it's anything you've experienced, but the wrestling culture is a
Oh my
lot different.
gosh.
It's a lot different. So in wrestling tournaments, it's a lot more like that than in jiu-jitsu tournaments. So even in wrestling practices, something I don't think you're used to, but I wrestled in high school and I've
Yeah.
experienced it. You know, it's not. I don't, at least with the wrestling gyms I've been to, I haven't seen them tell parents very often to, hey, don't coach our kids.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm sure it does, but I feel like it's a lot more acceptable or accepted when parents are like telling their kid from sitting on the sidelines of the mat, hey, get up and do X, Y, Z. You need
Yeah.
to do this more, blah, blah, blah.
I
you know?
have almost no experience with it other than when Lennox for a minute was doing, like she added a few wrestling classes that she was doing at a local wrestling gym just to kind of add to her game. I think she went to a camp or whatever. And so I went to one or two of those practices of hers. And I remember leaving and I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe the way the parents are talking to those kids. It blew my mind. It was a very rough, it was a rough environment. Definitely not what I was used to.
Yeah.
Just harsh.
But I'm not, like, I don't disagree with a harsh environment. I mean,
they were cussing their kids out.
Right. But I'm
Screaming
saying some people will say, well, that's why jiu-jitsu is so soft.
You know, well,
I'm just saying I disagree with parents yelling at their kids from the sidelines, but some will argue, you know, like it's tougher. It's not like a baby sport, you know, it's a tough sport. So I'm not justifying that. But I think in some way, jiu-jitsu could use some grittiness, you know, to build up tougher athletes in some way. I'm not saying that's the answer, but I think wrestling, boxing, Muay Thai, they have this like grittiness to it, and it's just a different culture, and that's part of the reason why I like jiu-jitsu too. So it's kind of like this catch-22, you know.
Yeah.
That I don't have to be in the boxing culture anymore of like kill or be killed every time you spar.
yeah.
So, but like for the girls, you know, my daughters and Dax, I want them to be tough and gritty and
sure.
you know, and so.
I don't think yelling produces.
No,
that
I'm not. That's what I'm
necessarily.
saying. I'm generally speaking. I want them to do
Yeah.
that, but yeah.
Okay, so we both give me a DQ, Wesley. Ugh, lame. You got to commit to the bit. Anyways, okay. Next, points, penalty, or DQ. Posting your gold medal and podium picture in a single person bracket.
Whack. Yeah. Not cool.
Unless you post it and are very like transparent.
Yeah.
That like I think I had to post one like that once and it was like, you know, I don't even remember what I said, but like you're calling yourself out. You've done it too, and been like, oh, it's like, oh my god.
That's not exactly what. That's not what I did. I didn't post that.
Oh well, somebody else.
I posted me putting my gold medal in the trash can.
That's
There's nobody
exactly.
in my division.
Well, that's okay, but that's like if you're gonna do it and being very open that like, okay, I didn't fight anybody. I just took my medal and I took my points and I didn't actually fight. Then I think that's fine. But just posting a podium picture or whatever and not fighting is so dumb.
Yeah.
DQ. Yes! Thank you for playing along.
All right, next.
Okay. Points, penalty, or DQ. Wearing your medal out to dinner after a tournament.
No, it's like straight up points, man.
Points.
You worked hard for that medal.
I
Especially
agree.
if it's I don't care what medal it is.
I
Take
won't
it out,
always
but like
do it.
definitely
I feel
if it's
silly,
major.
but
or
I
even
definitely,
ADCC trials, like put that dang medal on.
I've definitely done
wear
that.
it to school,
You
wear it to work.
Proudly, yes.
But at the end of the day, still medals don't mean. I mean, the medals. That's not what we're doing it for. But it is still, because you're gonna have people in the comments that'll be like, "It's not for the medals." I know, but the medal symbolizes an accomplishment that you made.
It symbolizes something that you did. It's the pride of being like, man, I did that. You know.
And at the end of the day, yes, all the medals collect dust. We're not worshiping the medals, but for a moment in time, it represents this hard work that you did. So
doing a hard thing and succeeding at it, which is awesome. So yeah, you wear that medal.
Yep.
You wear it
for that
to
moment in time.
Chick-fil-A afterwards, or out for ice cream. You wear it to work the next day.
Yeah, do it.
You know. Okay. Points, penalty, or DQ. Posting a highlight reel after winning a 2-person bracket.
That's cool, bro. If you hit highlights, I don't care if it's a one person.
If you had enough highlights in a 1-person bracket,
and you can do a highlight reel, then you deserve a highlight reel.
Exactly.
That's points. I think that's more points for a one person.
We're all about it.
Bracket.
Okay, points. Okay, points, penalty, or DQ. Men rolling primarily with women.
That's whack.
Yeah.
DQ. Like, why? I don't get it.
It's the primarily.
Yeah. Like
I don't want men to avoid rolling with women either. I feel like that's always a weird thing, especially at open mats, because like men don't want to approach me and ask me to roll because they were afraid that's going to make me feel uncomfortable. But I'm like, I don't want to have to go ask all the dudes to roll.
I can relate to
I don't
that
like
too.
That, but
I can relate to that too. But it's frustrating for me because I look across everybody training and everybody's way bigger than me, except for like the
woman.
Few women that are out there. But they're also really technical. You know, you get like a purple belt, brown belt woman.
Yeah.
Even if she's a little bit heavier than me, like she is very technical, fast, and actually much closer to my style, speaking stylistically, than the bigger guys, you know what I mean? And I'll roll with the bigger guys too. But like I'm always trying to get, you know, the closest representation of what my rounds will be like, because I'm always in a competition mindset.
Yeah.
You know, so especially at open mats, like I'm thinking like, I mean, I'm not going crazy and wild or anything, but I'm like thinking, you know, we're at a different gym, different bodies. Let's you know, try to get some different looks, you know, that are close to my. But
if they're all women, just like throw a few dudes in there too, you know, like level
more. I don't know. There's those stereotypes out there, and that's one of them. That's
don't
like,
do that.
Every time you look over, this person's always rolling with a lady, and it's what is going on
with a lady?
And it's just like keep yourself. It just. You know, let's not do things that raise questions. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Just self-awareness, you know?
Yeah. So no, DQ if that's you, so.
Yeah, DQ if it's primarily. If you roll with women as equally as you roll with men, that's fine.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, points, penalty, or DQ. Asking a black belt to roll. This is a weird one
I
for
do
me.
this just because I feel like you never know. I don't want to be disrespectful, and you never know what someone else's stance is. So like literally, we went to Vasquez last Wednesday, and George was right there, and I was like, George, am I all right to ask you to roll with me? And he's like, dude, you don't gotta ask me. We do some traditional stuff, but we ain't traditional like that. And I was like, okay, I know. I told him I don't think it's so much of me thinking that y'all are traditional as much as me feeling like I need to be traditional and show you the respect.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that I felt like you were gonna get upset if I asked you. I felt like I was doing you a disservice by not, asking. But do I actually think we should have to ask? anybody should have to ask a black belt to roll. Or not ask him. I should have to wait till the black belt approaches you to roll. No, I don't think so.
I don't think that you should have to. I know that, and I feel like that's why it's hard for me, because I don't think that's the culture at our gym, and so I'm not used to that culture, that more traditional idea of like you don't ask a black belt or an upper belt to roll.
I don't really feel like I've been to many gyms that are like that
either.
But I know it's a thing, so like I keep it in the back of my mind when I go places, you know.
So knowing it's a thing, I guess it's always something to be aware of, but I don't think it should be a thing. In fact, I think it's great when a lower belt is like, I want to. Now, again, if you're doing it, and I know some people do this, they'll ask the black belt to roll because they want to try and like stick it to them. That's not cool. Don't do that. Yeah. But if it's just like a respect for their skill and their level of ability, and you want to roll with them, and honestly, I feel like it would probably then be a good reflection of like the type of jiu-jitsu that's taught in their school, you know, then I think that that's great. And I don't think it should be a thing that you can't ask them to roll, but yeah, I think it should be points. It isn't always points, but I think it should be.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Okay. Points, penalty, DQ, traveling to Worlds to lose in your first round.
I mean, that's points still, like.
You did the thing, man.
And going to Worlds is for like the Master Worlds. Like, I mean, I know the guys that go. I mean, I don't know. Like, we're training all year for this. We want to win. It sucks if you go and lose. But at the end of the day, like we're just talking about,
you did it.
that medal still collects dust.
Yep.
You went out there, experienced it. It's an awesome experience. You were out there amongst all the different jiu-jitsu fighters or whatever I forget how they pronounce it. Jiu-jitsu Tira, or I feel like an idiot saying that.
I'm not even.
So
I don't like Judica either, though.
Oh, that one's. Yeah, I'm cool with that. But anyway, so.
They all sound a little weird to me, but.
Losing in the first round, so what, man? Yeah. Like, you deserve all the props. You're 10 times better than the person who sat on their freaking butt, back home.
Yes.
And didn't go. So.
Exactly.
And I guarantee you learned something from that match.
Yep, I know.
And also, you have to recognize that, like, there's so much chance that goes into tournaments. You could be on the wrong side of the bracket, fight the wrong person, and really the finals match happened in the very first fight, especially if you don't have any type of seeding. So, like...
Somebody just...
But anybody going to Worlds knows all that. Like, if you're going, I don't know, maybe there's somebody out there, to Worlds and you like barely compete at all, like, and you're like, maybe you're down on yourself after that, but I think if you go out to Worlds, go out there with a team, you hang out with friends, see everything that's going on, like, you'll feel like... experience of it. You'll feel like it was worth it, you know?
Yeah.
Even if you lost in the first round. So.
For sure. There was somebody who commented in some of our stuff recently, and they were talking about, I think it was when we were talking about seeding and stuff, and saying like their wife's they're going to do Worlds this year, and they've never competed IBJJF, and it was kind of like because they haven't, so they don't have seeding, and but I'm like, man, that's great. Go do the thing, good for her. For anybody who has the courage to just sign up for a tournament, and especially one where they're going to have to like travel and go against, the highest level people who are shooting for a title, good for you for getting out there and doing it. Even if you lose in your first round, I am all for it. And I'm rooting for you.
Yep. 100%. So
points
on that one.
Okay.
How many we got left? Because
2 more.
I feel like we're running this segment dry.
Are we? Okay. Well, there's only 2 left.
Let's knock them out. Yeah.
Okay. Cherry picking super fight opponents.
Super whack. Yeah, disqualified.
I'm gonna go penalty.
No,
you're not gonna just take every super fight opportunity if you know they're like way better than you and they're gonna smash you, but only picking people who you're gonna like completely outclass every single time. Not cool. Like, challenge yourself.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I think people are gonna, your first one, you don't know where you stack up in a super fight. The person, you don't know who you're, maybe not really familiar with the person you're fighting against. And a lot of times they say that you don't get to pick your opponent, but sometimes these coaches know these promoters, and there's just a way, things just seem fishy. But that's one thing I can say for the girls, and Dax. They've had their fights have been tough fights and respectable. Like the girls they fought, I think they are good girls. So I want, and they do too. They want to fight and have a challenge. They don't want to just walk through whoever they fight.
Absolutely.
Because they were just so much more advanced.
Yeah.
What good does that do for you if you walk through your opponents over here, but then you go to this tournament over here and you're fighting people that are actually your level, but then you get smoked. So
there's no pride in that to me. It's again, it's about the challenge. It's about at the end of the, just like when you bring home a medal or whatever, it's knowing you went and did something hard and you accomplished a goal. And it's not really accomplishing anything if you're just mowing through somebody who is not on your level. And especially when you did that on purpose, it's not.
Mm-hmm. And not
cool.
not to say that parents have much of a say, or I don't know, but the promoters definitely should have a pretty good idea. This person's lost a whole bunch of times. This person's won over and over and over again. Let's put them and match each other together, because that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So, and that's the kind of thing I'm like, we need to have some more, there's the word, pride. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We can have some more pride for ourselves, but.
Okay, last one. Points, penalty, or DQ. Men wearing only spats.
Heck no. Yeah, no. DQ.
Don't do it, people. Put some shorts on. Put some pants on. You
will not catch me rolling with you if you're only wearing spats.
Put some pants on.
Yeah. And you definitely ain't rolling with nobody. Rolling just straight spats.
That's all I have to say about that.
Yep.
Put on some pants.
Yeah, Bailey, you can wait outside. It's got leaves. So, but yeah, no, I think that's really odd.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I
you got a different level of comfortability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see it sometimes too. I'm like,
nope.
All right, bro. Right.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, well, that ends the segment of points, penalty, or DQ.
Yeah, well, let us know in the comments if you liked it. Let us know if you feel like it went on too long. Add to it. Let us know your opinions and thoughts.
Yes. Okay. Is that it for today?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so. We're excited for our next couple
2
of
weeks.
episodes.
2 weeks till pans.
2 weeks till pans.
That's right.
Yep.
Let's go.
We've got some good guests lined up. So yeah, fun stuff in the future. As we always say, please follow, subscribe wherever you are watching or listening. I'm about to sneeze.
No, you're not.
No, but I think I really
No,
am.
you're not. Gosh darn it.
Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Yes. Follow, subscribe wherever you're listening. It really helps us out, helps the podcast to grow. Leave us comments. We love to hear y'all's opinions and engage with you on things. And some of the comments that we got recently are led to topics that we talked about today. So
yeah, so let us know our thoughts. And let us know our thoughts. Let us know our thoughts.
I thought that's what you said.
Wow.
Please let us know what we think.
I've been sitting in this chair too long, I think. That's what the problem is.
Let us know your thoughts, and then we'll tell you our thoughts about your thoughts.
Yeah, man. Too much.
Oh, man. Okay, so yes, follow us on Instagram at Weslee Weighs In, TikTok at Weslee Weighs In, YouTube at Weslee Weighs In.
Let's go.
It is the same thing in literally every place. And with that, I guess we will see you next time.
All right, I'm Weslee.
And I'm Bailey.
And that's the Weslee Weighs In podcast.